Our next guest is the co-author of The Blueprint, 6 Practical Steps to Lift Your Leadership to New Heights. Welcome to the show, Amy Federman.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, see, we always talk about leadership, and I don't know, it's a rather overused word to the point that a lot of people don't even know what it means.
Absolutely.
What do you think it means to you, and what do you think our viewers should think about it?
Well, leadership is as defined by my co-author, Doug Conant. He's the former CEO of Campbell Soup Company, and this is his 6 practical steps to lift your leadership to new heights. And we define leadership as the art and science of influencing others in another direction. It's that simple. And it's that complicated. Leadership, like any skill, like broadcast journalism, is a vocation that can be practiced and improved. I think a lot of people think, oh, you're just born with leadership skills or you're not. You're a born leader or you're not. And that's not the case. Like anything, you can get better at it. And there's easy, small steps that fit into your busy, busy life that you can take to improve.
Most definitely. What are some of the skills, what are some of the 6 steps that people can implement into their lives to become better leaders?
Sure. Well, our process is rooted in the idea that most leadership books tell you how to lead like somebody else. You know, this is how I did it. Now you do what I did. We throw that away. The first half of this book is a workbook for you to learn how to lead like you. And it starts with the story of Doug Conant. He gets fired. It's the worst day of his life. And then ultimately, he fulfills his boldest dream of leadership success, which is becoming a Fortune 500 CEO. And reflecting back on how he did that, he said, these are the exact 6 steps I took. And they are, you envision what your boldest dream of leadership success looks like. You reflect, you look inward on your life experiences and see how they've shaped what you believe about leadership and how you want to show up with other people. Then you study the world around you outside of your own experiences. Then you make a plan, which is just, we call it a leadership model, but it's just, here's how I want to express my beliefs, my purpose in the world around me as a leader. Then you practice, and then you improve, and you just keep doing it again. And it never has to be perfect, because that's not the way life works. You can just take small little steps to get better.
Yeah. See, not every one of us is Doug Conant, and our viewers probably aren't very familiar with him because he is above our generation, but I agree that he is a very successful man. But not everybody is fortunate enough to be in his position. And the truth is, a lot of people, especially I don't know, people of our age, we don't know what we want.
Yeah.
We don't know.
But they know they want to be leaders.
Yeah,
like millennials on social media, they all want to have a voice. So yeah, just
yeah,
kind of
but it's a pretty nebulous
Absolutely.
goal. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I just want to be an influencer,
Right,
but in what?
How do I do that? How do I do it with
so,
my voice?
Yeah, like, you don't even know where to start.
Exactly.
Then what's the first step you can tell our viewers that they should start with? Something concrete.
Right.
There are actually, not to be too salesy about the book itself, but there are actually questions in the book that help you figure it out. Because the truth is, it's not just unique to millennials and Gen Z. People don't know what they want. They haven't thought about it in a codified way. They don't know how to think about it. They don't know what questions to ask. The first thing that you would do, we would say, is you figure out what your purpose is.
But that's the hardest part.
That is the
Yeah, it's
hardest
really,
part.
really, it's hard, but that's why you need guided steps, guided questions. And so the way we kind of think about it is, there's a question. Do you want to live for your resume, which is your skills, you show up, how you show up in the marketplace? Are you an influencer, whatever you want to do in the world? Or do you want to live for your eulogy? Who you are, what people say about you after you're gone. Right. And people think of it as this either or proposition, and it's really, no, you can do both. And you just have to answer some tough questions, but that help you figure out your purpose, which unifies your eulogy and your resume.
I love that it's like a workbook and people can really work through those questions and kind of like figure it out. But it's hard to be honest with yourself sometimes. So what would you say to them and like, you know, really just encourage them to like dig deep and think about their questions so they get the most out of it?
I would say forget perfection. It's
Ooh, that's a
hard to
good
be
one.
honest with yourself because you're thinking, well, do I have to answer this question perfectly? I think that's a pressure a lot of people feel, especially young people just entering the workforce who don't know what they want to do. Forget it. If you answer it half wrong, it's okay. Be gentle with yourself. You're taking one step towards what you want your life to be, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Do you live for your resume or your eulogy?
I'm trying to live for both. I don't know how
That
I'm
is
doing.
difficult to do because, you know, the timeline is different. Eulogy, you're going to, you know, that's going to come into play 50, 100 years later. Resume is going to change your life tomorrow.
So there's kind of this idea of abundance. So whenever there's something that sounds like it's an either or, to rethink it and just think critically and say, how can I answer this question with both? So you're right. My resume is what's going to matter tomorrow, and I'm not even going to know what they say about me in my eulogy. But just trying to expand the way you think about it, not from a scarcity perspective, from an abundant perspective of not either or, both.
Most definitely. And I think practicing gratitude is like the number one thing that all young people should be working on, just because like you see so much on social media and like all the things that you don't have. And so definitely trying to live in abundance
absolutely.
is good, rather than like, I don't have this, or, you know, that kind of thing. So most definitely.
And that's definitely hard. But
Yeah. And I think the whole eulogy thing is more of like, what kind of person are you, rather than like, you know, so you can work on that can be like you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
And you can also work on your career on like a separate side.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah, and your book, Amazon, and
Yes,
where else?
you can learn more at conantleadership.com/blueprint, and there's resources and a workbook to help get you started on your journey.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Amy.
much.
Thank you very much.